Good evening, welcome to Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki, and out to our first business story. The Chief Executive of the Ghana Insurance Association, Kingsley Kwabason, is urging the public to file legitimate insurance claims to ensure timely and hassle-free payment by insurance companies. His remarks come in response to complaints from some traders who accuse insurers of delaying claim settlement due to unclear terms, hidden conditions, and complex procedures that is closed during the sale of policies. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Kwabason emphasized the need for policyholders to fully understand their coverage and submit valid claims to facilitate prompt payment.
Let me say that insurance companies are in the business of paying claims, and therefore paying claims is one of the critical business that we deal with. And so the regulator, there's a National Insurance Commission, has clear guidelines as to what to do when it comes to claims payment. And insurers, by and large, do follow the guidelines. But the challenge is that sometimes we do not understand the issues, and then we are not able, and I'm talking of some of the policyholders, we are not able to also ask for the relevant explanations. And so I'll say that we have what they call a 3-tier system. If you have a policy and you do not understand anything about the policy, the first thing to do is to go to the insurance company. If you do not still have understanding in terms of the claims procedure and so on and so forth, you go to the, you come to what they call the Complaints Management and Advice Bureau of the Ghana Insurance Association, or you can even go to the regulator so that it is explained to you. Please, the bottom line is that the claims must be legitimate. And so long as it is a legitimate claims, we pay. Let me give you some statistics. On daily basis, according to the Financial Stability Review report, as at 31st December, on daily basis, we pay 9.2 million Ghana cedis every single day as claims, comprising 4 million Ghana cedis as life insurance claims and non-life insurance policies in excess of 5.2 million. Let me also add that we have that edge to pay claims, because if we do not do that, we will be out of business. Perhaps there are situations where people do not understand, and that is why we have formed various systems in place. We have the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group to explain to people. Admittedly, one or two sales agents might not be able to explain the way it must be done.
Now, the Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam Nate George, has dismissed reports suggesting a measure between telecom operators AT-Telecel. Speaking to the media earlier today, he clarified that the government has only appointed a transaction advisor to explore possible options for the sector's future.
And AT will issue timely communication to subscribers to address and resolve any concerns that may arise. What does the future hold? Government has appointed KPMG to act as transaction advisor to provide guidance on the future of AT, with the goal of establishing a second strong operator to address the imbalance in Ghana's mobile market. The transaction advisor will also access government's shareholding in Telecel Ghana towards achieving the same goal. The transaction advisor has been given a strict 60-day timeline to complete its work due to the urgency of the situation. On the future of staff of AT Ghana, the government will ensure that the approximately 300 permanent staff of AT retain their employment. I repeat, they will retain their employment. There will be no job losses. I have already met with the staff and offered them assurances in this regard. The transaction advisor has instructions to also consider the fate of the over 200 contract staff of AT. I'm grateful to the staff of AT Ghana for their candor and openness during my engagement with them. I'm fully aware of the gravity of the current situation on the workers, their families, and their dependents, but I remain committed on behalf of the government to protect them from any adverse situation. We will see sunshine very soon. It will happen. let me be very clear. And I need to be very, very clear on this because we've seen media reportage. This is not a merger. It is also not an acquisition. We're dealing with a force majeure situation, and the work of the transaction advisor and the recommendations from their report will lay out a clear path for the consideration of government.
Now, the Chief Executive of Delex Finance, Joe Jackson, has stated that the Bank of Ghana's decision to suspend the trading licenses of UBA Ghana and 8 other firms is a measure to address the decline in remittance outflows. He assured customers of these entities not to panic, emphasizing that the move will encourage rather financial institutions to tread cautiously. His remarks came during an interview here on Joy News.
To believe that the drop in the remittance outflows is because these remittance companies are not bringing the dollars back into town and that they are finding other ways to move the dollars out. That is the belief. And so if there's a reason to think that you have done that, then obviously it's going to come down hard on you. Remember that all dollars should go through the central bank. All dollars going out should go through the central bank. So it's a tough one. The institutions are fundamentally fine, I believe, and so there should be no panic on the issue of customers or anything like that. It is just the central bank showing teeth where its Forex transactions are concerned and trying to make sure that everybody else will see this and shape up. I assure you that after the announcements, all sorts of meetings are being held in management of all the financial institutions to make sure that, hey, make sure that we don't fall into the same pit. I assure you, I've had my meeting at Delex Finance already, and I won't be surprised. That's essentially maybe what the central bank wants to signal to all of us. Don't make the mistake, because if you make the mistake, I'll come down hard on you.
Now, away from that, the group president and CEO of MTN Group, Ralph Mupicha, is calling on financial institutions to invest more in cyber resilience to fight rising mobile money fraud. He also clarified that while MTN is driving financial inclusion through mobile money, it has no immediate plans to become a full-scale bank. Mobile money has become a key driver of financial inclusion in Ghana and across Africa, but with the growth of digital transaction comes an equally rising threat of cyber fraud. At a press briefing in Accra, MTN Group President and CEO Ralph Mupicha urged financial institutions to take stronger steps to protect customers by investing in cyber security and artificial intelligence.
I wouldn't say that it's got to the extent where it is unmanageable. I think we see the proportion of fraudulent transactions over total transactions and actually still small, not to make that an excuse in of itself, because you never want that to happen. So the reality is we and everybody, the banks themselves and other mobile money operators, we're going to have to be more vigilant about cyber resilience and invest more in tools around threat detection and eviction, and putting a layers in of AI where we're able to, detect some of this, through intelligence. I mean, implementing KYC, anti-money laundering, and those sorts of processes also helps to remove some of that those set of risks. But
he also clarified MTN's position on expanding into full-scale banking.
If that happened, it was because there was a very good reason. Right now, there is no reason. But I wouldn't want to lead you to say we will be or we will not be. It's just simply a function of how best do we serve our customers, that you then go and take some other form of license that you currently don't have. So what I think that is more useful is for us to think about the role that we have to play in driving financial inclusion. We're not even at 50%. So there's a lot more still to play. We're in the first half. It's not finished. And there's a whole second half still to come where we can, do more and more. But there may well be a time when we think we need different capabilities and a license but that's not occupying our minds right now.
The telecom giant says its investment will continue to prioritize secure mobile money services as a way to drive inclusive growth across Africa. Still on the banking sector, GCB Bank PLC has launched a specialized savings product, the GCB Hajj account, designed to help Muslims prepare financially for their annual pilgrimage to Mecca. The account offers a structured and secure way of prospective programs to save towards the journey. Helen Ayeke has more in the story.
Launch of the GCB Hajj account took place at the National Mosque in Accra and brought together GCB Bank's executive management alongside prominent Muslim leaders. Described as a bridge between faith and finance, the new account is open to all Muslims willing to make regular deposits towards the cost of the pilgrimage. Speaking to the media, Executive Head of Retail Banking at GCB Bank PLC, Sina Kamagate, assured that the bank has put in place strong measures to protect customers from fraudsters and guarantee a smooth Hajj experience.
We have heard several news in times past of some agents who ran away with monies belonging to potential pilgrims. And so what GCB has done today is essentially saying you no longer have to be saving monies with any personalities. Just open a Hajj account with us, which is actually a savings account. Build up your savings. When it is time for your journey, would help you by transferring that money to the Hajj account in the name of your designated Hajj agent. And so typically, this is what the product is about. On top of this, we have provided some value adds, and that is the embedded insurance that we are going to give to the customers at no premium. And so we have a coverage for death. We don't pray for our customers to go and no return, but death is inevitable. If it happens, there's some money we'll pay to the families of the deceased. Again, we also have insurance coverage for theft and loss of properties and a lot more. This is what we are doing as a bank to give back to our Muslim societies who have always remained loyal to us.
Representing the Muslim community, lecturer at the Islamic University College, Mohammed Amin Lamte, praised the initiative, commending GCB Bank for introducing a product that meets both the financial and spiritual needs of
I apologize for our sound there. Now moving on, the Chartered Institute of Taxation has sworn in new executives with a historic milestone as it names its first female president. The leadership team has pledged to strengthen tax education and compliance to support Ghana's revenue drive. Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana has ushered in a new leadership team to steer its operations. The newly sworn-in executives include Ernestina Christiana Appiah as president, Fred Awute as vice president, Francis Timoboy as chairperson of the Training and Education Committee, and Resta Togome as chairman of the Examinations Committee. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony, Vice President Fred Awute reaffirmed the Institute's commitment to deepen tax education across sectors of the economy.
The Institute is made to, it's enacted to actually regulate tax practice and then promote tax education and training in the country. So our visibility in respect of training and regulation will have to be up again. And then people have to know that there's an institute which is a Chartered Institute of Taxation. Training of tax education, tax literacy must be promoted at all costs, at everywhere. It is not easy to pay taxes, but sometimes people feel difficulty in terms of payment of taxes. However, why did they do so? The reason is that possibly they are not well educated. They do not know the integrity of, the nitty-gritty of taxation. On the basis of that, we believe that with this institute, with this executive which are put in place, we'll cooperate with Ghana Revenue Authority in order to ensure tax literacy within the tax-paying population. If you look at it, the tax-paying population is about 15% or less. On the basis of that, we have to ensure that we increase the tax-paying population to actually improve on a tax net. And by that matter, we cannot continue to borrow as a nation, and tax is the only way that we can do. So this new executive will make sure that we improve on this visibility and then rebrand the institute to another level.
President Ernestina Christiana Appiah underscored the importance of tax compliance as a foundation for sustainable economic development.
We go to the market and interview the the market women on their obligations and the taxes they need to pay. So with that, with our small collaboration that we've been doing, we've seen that they now understand why they should pay tax, and their level of compliance has increased. So you know that if you were not to be deducting tax from your salary at source, you wouldn't pay tax. So it's the same thing. So a lot of people shine away from paying tax if you had to collect from them directly. So with our education, we will let them know that tax is a tool that we use to build the nation.
Formed to promote excellence, integrity, and transparency in the practice of taxation, the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana says it will continue to offer professional services that support both the state and the public. Away from that, at its 10th anniversary, the Achimota Retail Center is being recognized not only as one of Ghana's earliest modern community shopping destinations, but also a hub for jobs and business growth. Director of Delico Achimota Ghana Limited, George Ejay Ampofo, says the center has played a vital role in boosting employment and attracting new businesses to the area.
Opening its doors, the Achimota Retail Center has provided opportunities for both tenants and local entrepreneurs. Major brands like Melcom and other retail outlets at the center have employed hundreds of people, while smaller businesses have sprung up around the facility, creating more economic activity. Management says by working closely with tenants, the center has built partnerships that ensure sustainable business growth, with events and activities designed to attract customers and support tenant success.
Based on the fact that we have tenants in the mall, we have been able to contribute to direct employment to people. People have gotten jobs just because they are tenants in the mall. Tenants like Melcom, ShopRite, and the likes have employed hundreds of people into the mall. Secondly, around the mall, previously you wouldn't have businesses that were here. I mean, businesses have come around the mall and has generated a lot of activities to contribute to the general economy. And so indirectly, we also contributed to employment in and around the mall because people have seen that there's activity going on in the mall, and they've leveraged on that activity to also establish their own businesses just around the mall.
According to marketing manager Linda Anokolate, these innovations are designed to align with the expectations of Gen Zs and Gen Alpha shoppers while ensuring that the center remains competitive in the years ahead.
We are evolving with time just as customer requests or customer behavior changes. So we are very active on our social media just so we make sure we are aligned with the Gen Zs, as we say it's all Gen Alphas. And so e-commerce, yes, people can order online and then come over here to pick it up, or they can order online and then have it delivered to them. And then also we seek to provide experience for our shoppers, or experiences. And so in as much as people come here to come and shop, we also make sure we have activities so they create memories and then they would want to come in over and over and over again. So we realize that over time there's been a lot of improvements. And then I can assure you also to look out for better things in the coming years. We are 10 years, and so we are hoping to give you 10 times better experiences at Achimota Retail Center.
Management of Achimota Retail Center say the next decade will bring even better shopping experiences.
And the Deputy Minister of Forex, Housing and Water Resources, Giselle Tete Agutui, has urged youth in the country to embrace agricultural policies being implemented by the government, also and to give opportunity to them so that they can increase their income and welfare. Speaking at the Africa Food Systems Forum in Dakar, Senegal, she stated that the projects can only be successful if the youth develop interest in them. Joining us, APAC West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more in this report.
The focus of this year's Africa Food Systems Forum was centered on the youth, with the theme Africa Youth Leading Collaboration, Innovation and Implementation of Agri-Food Systems Transformation. Deputy Minister of Works, Housing and Water Resources, Giselle Tete Agutui, standing in for the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Operado, at the Generation Africa Fellowship Program, where Africa youth agripreneurs were honored. She spoke of several agricultural policies being initiated by the Ghanaian government aimed at supporting the youth to not only give them employment, but increase their incomes as well.
As a government, we already know, we are already working some policies. Yesterday at the round table, we talked about soil mapping and how the Ministry of Agriculture is actually undertaking that to be able to get to know. Ethiopia have done that already. We also are doing that, but we have to have a bit more comprehensively done on what actually grows where, so that we don't waste time and do trials and errors with our cropping. So there's a lot that we have to be intentional about as a country.
Gizere Tete Agbochu noted that for it to succeed, the youth needs to develop interest in those projects to better their lives.
The youth have to show interest, and we have to also have a good value proposition to them. Some of them, so in my constituency, for example, if I talk to a young man, he may be doing some farming. He's also maybe an Okada rider. So in between, he's balancing his farm and he's balancing riding his motorbike. Or he's balancing going to school and he's also balancing farming, because maybe his parents are farmers. So we have to be able to have that connection and that engagement with them all the way from, as members of parliament, from the lower level, so that our programs actually fit into what they expect and what they want.
It is now over here in Dakar, Senegal, for the Africa Food Forum 2025. What next for Africa? I spoke to Dr. Godfrey Yesau, MP for Wa East.
We need our governments to accept this and invest in the food systems approach. Invest in our ministries of agriculture, in our food production. We need our youth to take advantage of development partner innovations, opportunities that are available in country. We need our parliaments and parliamentarians to truly represent the people and take advantage of the plan and policy brief that ASPAN, for example, have shared, so that we can work in an integrated manner to make sure that we have control and influence over the budgets that our governments bring, to have control and influence about our representative function, to have control and information about arguing evidence, arguing cases that can truly help the youth and production system, food production systems in our country. I'm very confident that by next year when we come back, and I hope to see you there, when we come back for the Food System Summit, we'll be reporting successes. That will have been year one of implementation of the new CADEP strategy.
Dr. Godfrey Yesau also threw light on the Feed Ghana project, which he believes will enable the country to attain food sovereignty.
But you see, you cannot talk about food sovereignty when you have to depend on another country's importation in order to be sovereign. And so the bottom line, and I'm happy to report that the government of Ghana is implementing what we call the Feed Ghana program. And the Feed Ghana program, this year, they are distributing inputs to farmers for free. And that is to make sure that the cost of production for the farmer is reduced. Now, if cost of production is reduced for the farmer, it means that the produce that he will come up with will be competitive enough with the imported products. Now, if you can do the proper marketing and matching well, the average Ghanaian will want to buy the made in Ghana products. And so my view is that if we can sustain these efforts, it will deliberately reduce the food importation bill. Rice alone, we are importing over $2 billion annually on rice alone. Poultry is serious. And are you aware that we are importing tomato and even pepper to Ghana?
After 4 days of attending to conferences, seminars, and listening to panel discussions from technocrats and experts, the 2025 Africa Food System Forum is now over. It is now time to turn those beautiful voices into actions. Africa has the youngest population in the world, and it's time to harness that potential. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Dakar, Senegal.
Beautiful report by Rafik Salam, reporting from Senegal. Certainly, people were waiting for Rafik Salam. Wow. Thank you for watching today's edition of Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki. Up next is Prime Sports.